himself a lion doesn't make him so. You don't succeed by mere words or wishes, but by faith. Factor non forward. It is with these words of Ambassador Phyllis Rondo, I welcome you all to the 7th edition of Quest, the Antiglossophobia, reaching here live on Multimedia Plus online television, and of course our Facebook page, the Antiglossophobia Academy. I am your host, Augustin Martinez. In today's edition, we shall be throwing light or laying emphasis on the topic, how to overcome nervousness or stage fright before a speech day. And of course, I'm having a guest, a renowned speaker to be very much specific, and of course, one of Sweden's finest public speakers. To start with, she is a TV personality to reckon with. She has been awarded as a National Youth Ambassador in the year 2018 and 2019. One of the most 5 hottest female presenter in the year 2019. Best Young Actor 2019. One of the 100 Inspiring Sierra Leonean 2018. One of the most 100 influential young Sierra Leonean 2018 and 2019. Best Female Television Presenter 2018. Best Supporting Actress in a Film 2018. One of the most 50 influential young Sierra Leonean 2017. Most Outstanding Female Journalist in the year 2016. Best Female Journalist 2016. Media Icon 2015. Best Radio Presenter 2013. My indivisible viewers, permit me to introduce to you one of Sierra Leone's finest renowned TV personality and public speaker, Madam Phyllis Rondo, Ambassador. Yes, ma'am, good day and welcome to Quest, the Antiglossophobia, here live on Multimedia Plus online television.
Thank you very much for having me, Rusty.
Thank you so much. Of course, it is with great pleasure having you here today. And of course, the topic of discussion is how to overcome nervousness or stage fright before a speech day. And we shall be laying emphasis on the said topic. This is the Antiglossophobia TV series here live on Multimedia Plus online television. Yes, ma, to start with, there are several questions in which you and I want us to lay emphasis on. But to start with, in your own perspective, what is nervousness or stage fright?
Nervousness and stage fright, it's a common term a lot of people use. Sometimes they're not even aware of what being nervous is or being, stage fright. Thing is, you know that feeling when every time you want to stand in front of a crowd to talk. A crowd in this sense can vary. It could be a small crowd, maybe 5, 10 people. It varies by the individuals. That fear that comes in you, the fear, some amount of confusion, you don't know what to say. You find some people who on a normal day, they have clear speech, they don't stutter. When it comes to going now to talk to a crowd, they begin to stammer. They're stuttering and they're just scared. You would see them trembling, they're shaking, some would begin to sweat. They're confused. Not that they don't know what to say, but it's just they're terrified of the people in front of them. Not because they are bad people, obviously, but just because they don't have the confidence within them. They don't have the courage to stand in front of all those people and say what it is they want to say. So that feeling, then that's what stage fright and nervousness is in a clearer sense for people to understand.
Okay, some might want to say it is something very much natural. All human beings do feel some psychological reactions, such as you having a pounding heart, a sweaty palms, and the rest of it all. Let's say, for instance, you're given an opportunity to give a speech, or public speech to be very specific, but you're having 3 things that are worrying you. The very first one is yourself as an individual, thinking that you are not competent enough, or you are very much thinking that you might not please your self-esteem. Then secondly, you're thinking that the audience might look at you or laugh at you, or why they might laugh at you in a very specific context. And also the other part, you thinking that your material you're having is not good enough, or it's not sensible enough in order to persuade or convince the audience. As a renowned public speaker, what would you advise? What would you advise to serve as a skill in navigating such a mentality?
Now, usually that's a concern that comes up for a lot of people when they're about to, make a public statement. But the key is the secret behind all of it. First of all, before you go to talk to people, you must have known who you're going to talk to and why. Whether or not it's you inviting the people to talk to them, whether or not you're invited as a guest to go talk to some people, either way, you know where you're going and what you're going to say. So before you go, figure out, what am I going there to do? Who am I going to talk to? What do I want to communicate with these people? Have all those thoughts in mind. Have all those questions asked by yourself. Ask yourself those questions and answer those questions. And once you answer those questions, you're able to piece together what you're going to say to those people. Get yourself a script. Some people don't work on script. Myself, I'm like that. I'm not really a script fan. I don't like scripts. But what I do is I spend time, I have jottings. Okay. I would take notes of what I want to say. Tips that I put down. Point. And then I brainstorm, I rehearse those tips. I remind myself every tip, what do I want to say? So by the time I get to where I'm speaking to the people, I already know in my mind what I'm going to say. So that's a very key thing that everybody needs to know when you're going to make public statements. Just know what you want to say, why you want to say that to that specific group of people. Once you know that, it puts you in a better position to go and talk to these people confidently. It helps you to overcome your stage frights, the nervousness you might have. And in some cases, for some people, you will find sometimes the best of speakers sometimes do tend to get nervous. Depends on who you're speaking to. Okay. It's like calling you now to say, go and have a talk with the president. Like, it's not that you, on a normal day, that's how you are. You're scared to talk to people. But you're worried about the personality you're going to talk to. You're like, oh my God, I don't even believe this is happening. Oh my gosh, this is me. I'm going to talk to this individual. Those things come. So again, if you have the information at hand, you're going to talk to certain people, prepare yourself. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have a one-on-one with Dangote. I'm going to talk to Bill Gates. Oh, I'm going to be talking to the president. Have that moment at home before you head out. Because once you have a moment, by the time you're standing in front of the person, it takes away some amount of the nervousness and fright or panic that might want to come. In some cases, for some people as well, they're not informed prior to the time of making the statement. I know you have diverse audience. It's like secondary school kids now watching us or listening, or maybe university students, and maybe there's a surprise guest that visits your school or campus. And then all of a sudden your teacher or lecturer looks at you and says, oh, you would be the best person to give a vote of thanks. In such cases, it's different because you didn't have time at home to prepare and say, okay, let me brainstorm what I want to say. In such instances, just keep your statement short. Okay. That's the key. If you want to talk too much, you have a problem. Because you're nervous already. There's this stage fright, there's panic. So the more you talk, the more you get nervous, the more things escalate. Keep your statement short. You've been told to say thank you. You can as well just say, oh, thank you very much, Phoebe Swin, for coming here today. We really appreciate. You can even talk about being nervous. It's allowed. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm about to say this, guys. Let me be honest, I'm a bit nervous. I have this feeling of panic in me right now. It's fine, you can say it. It helps you to ease the tension and the pressure. But always have in mind, what do you want to say to these people? So even if it's something you prepared for or if it's impromptu, there is something in your mind. Why are you making this speech? Is it a vote of thanks? Are you explaining something, a personal project? Are you explaining to people? Are you there to inspire or motivate people? Have in mind, why do you want to say what you're about to say? It helps you. And mention you're panicked. Mention you're nervous. It's allowed.
Okay, that's very much explicit. I believe audience, you can take that into cognizance. And also, the other question here says that can nervousness or stage fright be minimized or entirely navigated?
It can, minimized. Joking about it. Okay. I'm nervous. You laugh. Okay. And mostly the audience tend to laugh about it as well. They will just laugh. Okay. So once you begin to have that some amount of familiarity between yourself and the audience, whether or not they're people when you're just talking, they laugh and you laugh, somehow you feel relaxed within you. Okay. You get more confident to talk about it. And once you rehearse over and over and over and over again what you're going to say, it helps you. You know, most of the speeches people make, most times, it's not impromptu. It's only in few cases, and even the ones that are impromptu, you must have been in that gathering. If it's a guest somewhere, maybe in your office as well, and they want you to give a vote of thanks, you must have been in the gathering. You have heard what the person came to say, why the person is there. So you are familiar with what the content should be. So you know, okay, oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Bangula, for coming here to teach us about taxes. You already know what the person came to say. So it puts you in a better position to know what to say in return when you're about to make a statement. Rehearsing it over and over, even in your mind. They must have given you at least 2 or 3 minutes notice. In your mind, write a speech. In your mind, begin to process, what am I going to say? Okay, I'm going to start off to say, well, thank you very much, Mr. Bangura, for being here. We appreciate the knowledge. In your mind, you don't need a pen and a paper or a tab to write it. In your mind, you're processing what you're going to say. It helps you. Preparation, that's the key word.
Okay.
Prepare. Prepare before you face an audience. Once you're prepared, you would never be fully prepared, trust me, but you just try to prepare as best as you can. And you'll find out by the time you're standing in front of those people to talk to them, there's some amount of confidence, and interact with the people. Do not be scared or embarrassed to share your emotions. Oh, I'm feeling nervous right now. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating. It's fine. They would laugh about it. You get along easily. So that's it. There's no embarrassment in saying I'm nervous. There's no embarrassment in saying, oh, I'm scared. You know, oh, I'm scared to talk to all of you. Imagine you're all professors. I am not even a graduate. I feel nervous to come here and talk to you all, like, what do I even know that you guys don't know? You know, you can crack jokes around it. You're really expressing to them how you feel, but then it makes you feel relaxed because already, what's my problem? I'm nervous. I've told them already, they know. So it's fine, just shoot. Go ahead with what it is you wanted to say, and that's fine.
Okay. There are people actually who see public speaking as something they will never do in their lifetime, which at some point in their life they will definitely need it. And there are people actually who think, public speaking is not my business, and I don't think I need to learn public speaking. But taking into cognizance that you've been a student at university, you might be questioned by your lecturer while lecturing you, or also as a people going to school, you might be asked to present or debate so far, and you saying, it is not my thing, I don't have to do it. What would be your advice towards those people that are saying that, I don't think I will ever need public speaking, I don't think I will have to do public speaking because I am not that type of person that have to stand in front of people and talk just because I'm nervous or I'm having stage fright. What are some of the benefits people who aren't actually learning public speaking than deviating from it?
Now, not everybody would be a professional public speaker at some point, obviously, but everybody would have to do some public speaking at some point in your life. So it doesn't matter when, where, or how. You never know where your life takes you. You might get to that point where you need to talk to people. And when they say public speaking, it's not only, you know, the one-on-one where you see the people in front of you. Public speaking, of course, now with internet and all of it, especially with COVID and the trend, it can be done virtually. So maybe you've won something or you've made an impact somewhere. You're invited at a radio station or television station, say, come and share your story with us. That would be public speaking. So either way, there's going to come a time in your life when you would have to be involved or engaged in public speaking. So it's something you can learn to practice. For those of you that are people who have serious fright, their stage fright is on another level.
Yes.
What you can do is practice it. Start by speaking to yourself in the mirror. When you're home, talk to yourself in the mirror. Develop a confidence that level. Try in your household, maybe your family or people you live with. Try just talking to them. Maybe kids around the community. Try maybe having a conversation with them, because you're starting small, but you'll find out at some points that you've graduated to a certain level. Practice speaking, you know, freely amongst your friends, or if you're school-going pupil, you know, in class when there's no teacher, practice it. Practice, you know, being a part of the conversation in class. Just, it's a practice thing. The more you practice public speaking, the better you get at it. So practice speaking to a large number of people, and it's going to help you muster the confidence and the courage to embark on public speaking. But never you have that thought that, well, I don't need it because I don't even want to be a professional public speaker. No, There's gonna come a time in your life you would need to engage in public speaking. Either it's about presenting an assignment that was given to you, presenting a group work, or maybe if you're employed in an office, the office gives you an assignment with a group of people, or even yourself as an individual, you would need to present to the board or to the management. You would have to encounter public speaking somewhere in your life. And it may not even be once. It may not be once. So practice, practice, practice. Practice it, build your confidence. Start from talking to yourself in the mirror, to talking to people in your house, to friends. Just gather them together. Tell them at home, oh, you know what, guys? I'm trying to practice my public speaking. So can you spare a few minutes? I want to talk to you. And then when you talk to them, when you're practicing, ask them for feedback. What do you think? What was I doing that made you realize that I'm not comfortable? So you work on those things. But practice, practice, practice. That's the way to go. You keep practicing until you get to that point where you feel super confident that even if we're bringing 10 million people in front of you to talk to, you would really nail it without any fear or nervousness or panic.
This is a clear manifestation that she is a renowned public speaker. As you can see, I just asked her a couple of questions and she has taken more than enough time to deliberate on it. This is what the quest here at Antiglossophobia is all about, bringing in people that are renowned speakers in Sierra Leone to lay emphasis on public speaking matters, in encouraging people out there to embrace public speaking, because at some point in their lives, you will definitely need it. Now, the very last question, if it may be, as a renowned TV personality, have you ever encountered nervousness when having your TV shows or programs?
When I started initially, yes. I remember the first day I was put on TV. That was like way back in 2011 or 12 at AIT. It was then the Nigerian station in Sierra Leone, African Independent Television. I went for a meeting the day before and the boss there told me, okay, come tomorrow and we're going to do a test. So come nicely dressed and let's test you. That's what he said, test.
Okay.
The next day when I came, but before that, of course, I had been a radio presenter for a couple of years,
Okay.
but I had never done TV, and I told the boss that. So the next day when I came, to my surprise, like a few minutes to and then the producer said to me, we're going live. I'm like, excuse me, what? We're going live?
Interesting.
Imagine I had been a radio presenter
Okay.
for a couple of years, but at that moment, knowing I am going to go on television for the first time in my life as a presenter, I was sweating.
Wow.
I was sweating. But then we got to the studio and then it was an entertainment show. It was called Salon Beats. And then all I had to do is just present videos, talk about the videos, done. So in my mind, I'm like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. We started the first 2-3 minutes. I knew I sounded nervous because, you know, my voice was trembling.
Okay.
That's another way to detect when people are nervous. You just know the voice. The voice is cracking, you know, oh, something is wrong. It's almost like the person is about to cry, but you're not crying, but your voice is cracking. So first video, second video, by the end of the show, I was like into it. And then after the show, my boss was like, you see, if I told you, it would have been a problem. You probably wouldn't have shown up the next day. You would have made excuses just to get ready, but you did it. So that was it. And sometimes I find it that, like when I'm switching from one TV station to another, there's always that mild nervousness underneath. I call it mild because it's not really visible. You can't sit at home, watch or listen and tell. But within me, I know there's some, you know, because I'm switching. And every time you change, every time, because I've come so highly recommended, it's that profile, the expectation is high. When people employ Phoebe and Swill, they're like, oh, okay, this is Phoebe and Swill we're talking about. She's on air. The expectation. So once it's a new station for me, it brings that pressure. But it's never been anything grand or you know, super visible there. But yeah, every once in a while you also get that feeling of nervousness.
Sure, it is very much explicit. Each and every human being on earth do feel some psychological reactions, such as you having a pounding heart, trembling hands, and that was you sweating. It is something that is very much normal for each and every human being. But as a public speaker, you might think it is something natural, or it is something that might affect you in a career of public speaking. As he said earlier on, it can be navigated and it can as well be minimized. You just need to be practiced more often and make sure that you prepare. The more you prepare, the more you get less nervousness, the more you minimize your fright in public speaking. So this is how we draw down the curtains of this edition. But finally, what would be your word of advice to emerging speakers out there who wants to be just like you or who wants to be more than you in the field of public speaking or other related career of yours?
All right, let me keep it short for you. All you have to do, again, practice. Practice, 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 practice. It makes, you know that saying, practice makes perfect. Practice often and prepare. Always prepare. Have a message. When you're going out to talk to people, know, what do I want to say to these people? Is it a school you're going? Why am I at the school? What do I want to say to these people? So once you prepare yourself, preparation could be physically and also with your message, because the way you dress as well helps you to gain the confidence you need. If you feel like you're underdressed for a function, you feel bad about yourself, it helps you to be more nervous. So know where you're going so it helps you. It's like, for example, you're going to talk to, let's say, a group of professors somewhere. That's not when you want to wear your bronze jeans and some vest and looking like you're just, going to the beach. Your dress code as well impacts the way you're going to feel when you're standing in front of those people to talk to them. So know where you're going, so you know what to wear, you know the message you're going to prepare, what you want to say to them, and just practice, 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 prepare, prepare, prepare. Remember, you can do it.
She is Ambassador Phoebe Swill Rundell, a renowned public speaker in Sierra Leone, and of course, a renowned TV personality. Thank you so much for having you, Ma, and it is with great pleasure. Thank you so much once
Pleasure's
again.
all mine. Thank you.
This is how we draw down the curtains of the 7th edition of Quest, the Antiglossophobia, here live on Multimedia Plus online television, and of course our Facebook page, the Antiglossophobia Academy. I am your host, Augustine Martinez.